Obligatory Xbox stuff is weird right now opening. Because it has. I just did a couple of videos on Xbox. Phil Spencer leaving, Sarah Bond leaving, and then this idea has been presented that perhaps Xbox as an idea is kind of being sunsetted, but then, Microsoft themselves are like, no, we're dedicated to Xbox, but then a lot of their actions kind of say otherwise, and it's all kind of weird. They keep insisting that they're going to keep making Xbox hardware, but they're also de-emphasizing the importance of the hardware, which is kind of weird. Rumors about next-gen hardware have been circulating for a while. Apparently, as long as a year ago, there were rumors coming out that the next Xbox would be a much more open system, perhaps even having Steam support. And it turns out that was basically true, because Microsoft has basically announced their next-generation hardware. Naturally, they did not give any major details. It was not like an actual full reveal or anything. Basically, they're just saying it's called Project Helix, and we are working on it. And the idea is that it is going to be much more akin to a gaming PC. I mean, I know these systems already are basically gaming PCs, but this one is going to have a much more open framework, whatever you want to call it. It's basically going to be a PC where you can actually install other software on it and access other clients and storefronts and whatnot. Jez Corden from over on Windows Central says, from our reporting, we know it'll essentially be a gaming PC at its core, with the Xbox full screen experience from the Xbox Ally handheld as its front end. As such, Xbox Helix will be the most open Xbox ever. You'll be able to boot up the Windows desktop from here and install other PC stores such as Steam, Epic Games, GOG. Do you pronounce it GOG or GOG? I don't know. I'm just saying GOG, Riot Client, Battle.net, and much more. It's these names that you only read and you never hear said out loud, So yeah, I mean, obviously it's really, really interesting. It's almost just too much to go into here on a humble little topic, Arlo. It's kind of like a lot of what Microsoft has been doing with Xbox over the last several years. I feel like in a lot of ways, it sort of does make sense. A lot of it seems like sort of logical pivots and changes and whatnot, but then in other ways, it feels kind of counterintuitive or kind of unnecessary. This is very much like that. So basically, they're making it less of an exclusive system, which completely goes along with their whole thing of just trying to make Xbox exclusives on an Xbox device. You gotta have the device to play the games. That just wasn't working for them. And they forgot to make the games anyway. So, they're kind of de-emphasizing the necessity to have an Xbox. You can play all these games on PC if you want. They're porting a lot of these games to other systems, and as we've talked about, in a lot of cases, it's actually working really, really, really well for them, selling a really good number of units on PS5 and stuff. So this definitely goes along with that. They're like, all right, look, we lost the console war. We're not gonna win with Xbox. We're not gonna get a bunch of people still rallying behind us and console brand loyalty or anything. So let's open it up even more. Let's make the Xbox something that you can buy, but you can play Steam games and stuff on. And this is, again, it's a good idea in ways, but there are things about it that I don't quite understand. Admittedly, I just don't understand. That doesn't mean that they don't make sense. I don't know everything. I don't know exactly how console manufacturing and stuff works. So I feel like, in theory, this could be good because, okay, well, why would I buy this Helix instead of just getting an actual gaming PC or something? Well, okay, theoretically, because it is being produced by Xbox, it could be that they could sell it for cheaper. They're a big company. They can produce a lot of units. They can more afford to sell at a loss or at not a humongous profit if they think they're going to make it up with software sales. That really is the difference between a console with its own purchasing ecosystem and just a gaming PC, which is just here's a collection of hardware that we are then marking up and selling to you. So that's the advantage of having your own platform like that. But if you are, basically dropping out of the console race and you know that people aren't going to be buying this thing in numbers like they once bought their Xbox 360s, you're not going to be selling just tens and tens of millions of units, then can you still manufacture it at a decent price, and make a good profit on it? I'm not sure. And then of course there is the idea that they could make up money with software sales. Yes, but with a more open platform, they're not going to make as much money that way. If you buy something on the Xbox store, it doesn't matter what it is, Xbox gets a cut. But if you open up your Helix and you open up Steam and you buy a Steam game, Valve is getting the cut of that. Xbox is not getting anything. Okay, does that mean they're going to try to it doesn't seem likely that they would have some way to take all the Steam stuff and then integrate it with the Xbox store so that then Xbox gets a cut and Steam gets a cut? I don't think it works that way. Which is okay, maybe that could still be an okay amount, right? Especially if they're selling their own Xbox Studios games on there or whatever. But then at the same time, if all of these Xbox games are on all of these platforms anyway, then what's the point of the Xbox part? What is even the point of having the X on the box? What, yeah, it's talking about it'll be a gaming PC at its core with the Xbox full screen experience from the Xbox Ally handheld as its front end. So that is interesting, by the way. We were wondering what the point of the Xbox ROG Ally even was. It just kind of seemed it's cool, but it just kind of seems what is that actually doing for Xbox? But it seems like that may have been a tester. That was just kind of a little tester for making an Xbox branded, more broad PC experience. So it is really interesting to see them taking that and applying it here. That means that, maybe that was kind of a test or something. But still, I have to wonder, what is the Xbox part even doing? If I don't even need to buy the games from the Xbox part, I can buy them elsewhere. I can buy them elsewhere on the same system, even when it's got the X on it. What is the Xbox OS, the full screen experience? What is that even doing for me? What even is Xbox anymore, other than just a brand of gaming PC? Why do I have this separate? I don't even, just get rid of that. Just boot up Windows. Just have Windows boot up automatically. Why are we even bothering? So in ways, this feels like a natural continuation of the brand. Perhaps this is a way for them to maintain the brand in a way that's kind of like giving in. Just we lost the war. There is no winning the war. We're not going to just put out another Xbox and try to beat Sony again. We cannot. So this is them just kind of giving it. Okay, well, if we can't do that, what can we do? How do we maintain a space for ourselves within this market and still cater to the gamers in some way? Again, that does make sense, but it is a further degradation of the idea of Xbox. It is a further weakening of Xbox as a brand, as a thing that I want to engage with. It's just becoming less and less necessary. Now you're just giving us gaming PCs. It's cool. And maybe it could work out. Maybe that brand is enough to prop it up, or just the Microsoft money is enough to just create a box that people will want to buy. It's a lot like the ROG Ally, or it's a lot like the Steam machine that's going to come. It's not about winning. It's not about creating a console that the most people are going to buy. It's about creating a product that people will want to buy at all. Just some. We don't know how many. Some millions, I don't know. Is tens still possible? Maybe. It could just still be a very attractive value proposition. For sure. It sounds like they are aiming for this to be the most powerful next-gen console. They're looking to beat Sony in terms of power. I don't know how you do that. I don't know if just industry secrets are just impossible to keep. Maybe they always know about each other's specs all it takes is one person just being yeah, here's the spec. At any point. So, maybe they know. They probably just know, right? There probably are no secrets. They probably just, yeah, okay. We know each other's specs. So yeah, it sounds like they want to beat Sony in terms of power, but of course, more power is more cost. And again, if you're not able to produce as many units, so you're not able to save as much money on manufacturing, and then also you're not making as much money from people buying through the store because now they're buying stuff on Steam. How are you doing it? Is this just something that you're dumping money into so that you can maintain the brand? Or is this a halfway step to Xbox actually sunsetting? And this is just them being like, I don't know, it's something. Or is it eventually all video games are going to be AI driven anyway, so let's keep pushing the boxes, and eventually the AI can just live on the box, and we got to have a box. So we got to keep having a box in living rooms. We got to keep people looking at the letter X and enjoying looking at the letter X. I don't know. But as usual, I will not claim to have a deep understanding of how all of this works. That's just kind of the way that I see it at the moment. And another really interesting thing to come out of this, it's certainly something to talk more about later. But, you know, Sony, they've been dipping into putting their games on other platforms. It's mostly been multiplayer stuff, but they were starting to put some single player stuff on other platforms too, and on PC. And it seems they're spooked. They have been spooked out of wanting to do that. They're pulling back. They no longer want to, at least according to reports, they no longer want to put their single player games on PC. And it seems very likely that it's because they heard that the next Xbox is going to be able to play Steam games. And so PlayStation puts an exclusive game on PC, and you can play it on your Xbox, and suddenly you're playing The Last of Us on your Xbox. Could you maybe argue that that's still not a bad thing? You're still selling the software. You're still, like, selling a game to a person that probably wasn't gonna buy a PlayStation anyway. Otherwise, they would have. Is it a pride thing? Is it an ego thing more than it's like, no, absolutely not. PC's one thing, but we're not gonna have our IPs play it on an Xbox. No darn way, over my dead body. Yeah, I don't know, but for whatever reason, though, it seems Sony doesn't want to do that anymore. They're just going to stick with the strategy of, for the most part, just putting, you know, live service games on every platform and PC and everything, which, I mean, yeah, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect, even without the Xbox part. I definitely understand it. But yeah, maybe we'll talk more about that later, but for now, yeah, new Xbox, it's coming. It's definitely, whatever that says about Xbox as a brand and its future or whatever, it's at least happening.